impression. We'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with the left side here on Colin. Keep your hands up for me if you would. Thank you.
Hey Ryan, could you, I guess, talk about like how you saw Austin Mack and Keelan Russell play, especially Keelan, like in his first action for you guys? Like, was it what you expected? Things like that.
Yeah, I expected both of them to play well. They've done a lot of those same things in practice and, leading up to that moment. So I think, you want to just see how they perform and stadium full of people and they can make easy decisions. I thought they both did a good job, took care of the ball, didn't put it in jeopardy, made some good decisions. Obviously, both had success getting the ball in the end zone. So they did well.
How would you evaluate how Michael Carroll looked, and do you kind of see that as a competition at right tackle?
100% I see it as a competition. All these guys are competing for spots, so I thought Michael did a great job. I think there's some things he certainly needs to clean up, but the thing I like about Michael is, he does compete, and what you saw on the field, in the game that's how Mike practices too. So he's a super competitive, physical kid that I thought did a really nice job for his first time.
With Jam out these first two games, just what have you seen from those running backs behind him, kind of, and what have they proven with their opportunities?
I thought obviously Kev is a guy that's made the most out of all his touches. I think he led the team again in missed tackles forced, and that's one of the things I think Kevin brings to the table is his ability to make people miss in open space, and real reliable out of the backfield, catching the football. And so I think he's kind of established that. I thought Rich had a couple of really, really physical runs, had a couple of really nice pass pickups where he was ultra physical. And then Daniel saw a couple plays in between tackles where he was able to drag some people. So I thought all of their best characteristics kind of came out in different ways.
Where'd you see the most improvement from Ty game 1 to game 2?
Decision making. I thought he was extremely decisive. He was very dialed on his reads. He didn't pass on open players. I thought he played great. I thought he was really, really into the game plan all week, and I was really hopeful that he was going to play very, very well.
Wisconsin's defense has been outstanding these first two games. I think they're giving up about 30 yards a game on the ground, and I think they've only given up one touchdown. What do you see from them schematically and also just what they do well in general?
Well, defensive head coach, there's going to be a little extra emphasis on stopping the run and those type of things. And, Coach Fickle does a great job of getting those guys to play hard. So no surprise that matches on film, how the guys run to the football, finish plays, extremely physical at the point of attack. And, for me, I saw a group of guys that know what they're doing. Their scheme is clear to them, and they know where to be on the field. So was impressed with just their discipline to be in the right spots.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned Ty's improvement, but for the offense as a whole, how do you feel like you've seen improvement, and what areas do you still want to see growth in?
Well, I thought their biggest step forward was honestly the week of practice they had. I thought that was, I know that's probably not the sexiest thing to say, but they did. They had a good week of practice, and I thought that it really showed. I literally showed them on Sunday that got all the information from our strength staff and physical output, they wear those catapults, and I just showed them, they practice harder. It showed, and I thought that was something that was kind of cool to be able to show them, back it up with a little bit of science, but then, you watch the game tape and they played inspired, so I hope we keep that up.
Yeah, hey, Coach. With playing Austin for a series in the second quarter, I believe that's something you guys did at Fresno with Jake Haener. Just what did that do for Jake then, and what are you maybe hoping it does for Ty now?
Well, it pissed Jake off, but but that's Jake. But it helped, I thought, at the time for him, and Ben Ward, who was a really good quarterback. I thought it kind of got him locked into, remembering all the things they needed to do and be clean on his preparation and prove that he's the guy, all those kind of things. And a little bit different scenario then, but that certainly was a story that I shared with Ty. And, I thought in the right way, Ty handled it the right way and just, attacked it and just kind of dug in and, focused more on himself, which is the toughest part about playing quarterback, is not letting outside influences, whether it's another quarterback, somebody from outside the program, affect the way you prepare. And I thought Ty was elite at that last week. He just dove into the preparation and did a great job.
Yeah, Ty said after the game he was coached really hard last week and wants to continue to be coached hard. What does that kind of tell you about him?
That's not surprising. I mean, that's something that Ty certainly, shared with me as well. And, that was something I told him after the first game was, I told you everybody on the team's got to look inward and, what we can own. And I thought maybe I wasn't, hard enough on Ty. And, I didn't harden him enough for the moment of the first week. And I told him I wouldn't, make that mistake again.
All right, let's finish up with Joe on the left side of the middle. Coming over to you, Joe.
Coach Jaden Roberts getting his first action of the season. What did you see out of him, and how's he coming along post-concussion protocol and getting back into the flow of things?
Yeah, Jaden played well. I thought we had about 4 blocks that I thought, were good finisher blocks that you expect out of a guy like J-Rob. I think, he's still working himself into game shape. He was out for a decent amount of time. So getting back to where he can play a full football game, he's still, kind of getting through all that. But he did a great job.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach Womack will make his opening statement, and we'll go ahead and take some questions. So, Coach, whenever you're ready.
Okay. I thought, this past week, the emphasis that we made with the effort and physicality that we needed to play, relying back on what we call Bama fundamentals, which is effort and finish, hard shoulder tackling, playing with violent hands, and creating takeaways, we took a step in the right direction. I still think our execution is not good enough. We've got to continue to work and push there. We've put some things on tape that we're going to have to answer for as the season goes on and continues. We need to stay uncomfortable as a defense. That is my job to make sure that we do that. I think our coaches have coached with a great edge. I think our players are playing with a great edge from a standpoint of the way they prepared this past week, and it showed up on Saturday. But good teams improve, and you do that by moving and operating with purpose, and I think we need to continue to do that. Looking forward to a good opponent in Wisconsin, a team that we played last year. They look very different on offense in terms of some of the things they're doing schematically. Some of their personnel is the same. A number of guys are different, including the quarterback position. And so looking forward to squaring off with them on Saturday. But we've got to have a great week of preparation, and we need to make sure that we keep the focus on our players' ability to maximize their opportunity on Saturday. It always builds to Saturday, and we need to make sure we have a great week for that.
What did you see from the interior defensive linemen who were working and taking Jeremiah Beaman snaps, and how is that looking going forward to replace him?
Yeah, I think I think you're seeing some good things from some younger players in Asai Faga and London Simmons. Both those guys did a good job. James Smith had a really good game. I think was a player of the game from a defensive line standpoint. Did a nice job for us in there as well. And so I think we've got some guys that are trending in the right direction. But good teams improve, and those guys need to continue to do that as we go, especially in the level of consistent execution.
Coach, what do you feel like is preventing you guys from ending those quarterback pressures with a sack?
Honestly, you've got to be able to have guys that can finish, and right now we're not doing that. We're not doing that well enough. I think angles are a huge piece to that. I think closing space on a quarterback is a huge indicator, right, of having success. But right now we're letting quarterbacks, we can flush them out of the pocket, but we're not doing nearly a good enough job of getting the quarterback on the ground. We had 12 TFLs in the game the other day with no sacks. I don't know if that's ever happened, at least in my experience. And so we got to do a better job. I've got to find a way to get the quarterback on the ground in terms of what we're doing schematically. And so I need to help our guys out in that regard.
Hey, Kane, I'm curious, thinking back to that first drive, you saw, James Smith kind of show enthusiasm, Justin Jefferson kind of show enthusiasm. Did you see an increased kind of fire or vigor in terms of responses to big plays from whether it's on the field, sideline? Was kind of the energy up in that regard? Did you see?
I thought our players met the standard of effort, physicality, passion that we've established here defensively, and that you have to play the game with defensively. And that's the standard. It's the expectation. And I thought we got them. They used as a point of emphasis. It was the thing that we did not show up well enough in the first game, and our guys did a good job of emphasizing that, and it showed up. But again, that's who we are as a defense. That's who we should be. And so the standard is a standard, and it was met this week when it was not in week one.
Coach, what did you see from the inside linebackers, particularly the two younger guys, Caden and QB getting in on some turnovers?
Yeah. QB was in on 2 takeaways defensively, which was great. We've made an emphasis of not just creating takeaways, but trying to score, and we had an opportunity to do that, but fell a little bit short there. So I think a tight end chased him down, so we kind of gave him a hard time on that one. But I think one of the big emphases in the offseason is creating forced fumbles and punching at the ball, and QB did a really nice job of that. That last takeaway that we got, did a nice job of coming in there and punching the ball out. Those are things that we chart in practice every day. And he's a guy that continues to do those things in practice, and then it showed up on game day. So you always want to be able to reinforce your messages, right? And so when you can show guys, hey, he did this in practice, and then all of a sudden it showed up and he got production on game day, that's a good message.
Just how do you view Dre Kirkpatrick's fit at safety as opposed to Husky, and is there a coaching point for his targeting hit there?
Yeah, obviously, I think I think Dre did some good things at the safety position the other night. He's been doing that all spring. He's been doing that all fall camp. He plays the game with a lot of effort and energy, and some good things happen from that. He created one of our takeaways in the game, just flying around and hitting people. Obviously, when you're moving, towards a ball carrier in the manner that he was in the targeting call, if you just can't leave your feet, and put yourself in a position to eject right with your, with your helmet being the first part of your body that's going to make contact with the ball carrier. And so those are the things we talk to our guys about, making, taking the extra step, right? Not leaving your feet. That's bad football in general. But taking that extra step to make sure that we don't launch, that we're moving through the tackle instead of to the tackle. And so that's a point of emphasis that, that we made with him, and hopefully we get that cleaned up. All right, thanks guys. Roll time.
All right, we'll have Coach make his opening statement and then take questions. Just leave your questions, your hands up whenever you're ready.
Yeah, you bet. Good morning. Just thought overall, guys did a good job of taking everything we worked on during the week, transferring the game plan over to the game, and just I think the week in general they focused on us, focused on our preparation, the week 1 to week 2 improvements that you'd expect to have, that needed to have. They did a nice job, and that's across the board. And questions about Ty, and I'm sure on that. Your quarterback's always a main kind of a controller of that, and he did a nice job. I think guys did a nice job of channeling the energy that needed to have happen throughout the week in the right things, just focused on the right areas, and so I thought they did a nice job there with that. So 3 takeaways. No turnovers. Love to see that. 2 of them were fumbles. Last year we got a lot of interceptions, and so love to see the aggression there, popping the ball loose, and those are things that get contagious. And I thought, talked to the team a lot about that and how that's got to carry over into this next week. But going to Wisconsin, and just a ton of respect for Coach Fickle. We got to move forward. We got to stack days. We got to continue to sustain the effort, sustain the energy, and continue to focus on our fundamentals. A lot of young guys got some experience that I think was really good. The guys are understanding their roles, and need to continue to move forward with that and have a big week here. Play again, Bryant-Denny Stadium. It was good to be at home. Guys really could feel the juice and the energy from the fans. And it helps when you make the plays to give them something to cheer about too. So just a lot of positives, and we got to keep it going.
Yeah, Coach, with you guys playing Austin in the second quarter for a series, it sounds like that's something you guys did at Fresno with Jake Haener. Just how did you see Jake respond to that, and maybe how are you hoping Ty does the same thing?
Yeah, it's something I've done a number of times over the years, going way back, but that's one of the more recent ones. And so, Jake bowed up. He bowed up, and thought Ty responded pretty well too, and it's one of those they kind of question probably at first why, but I think competition is just going to bring out the best in everyone. And, I think that did that for Ty in his week of preparation. Obviously, it helps Austin. It gives him some energy to really go out there and we're looking at him. He got some quality snaps in the game, and across the board we do that at other positions and don't really think twice about it. We guys rotating in at defensive positions. We do that at the offensive line. Receiver personnel groupings. We're doing a lot of that. So again, competition. Helping bring out the best, and that's what Jake did, and I think that's what Ty did here this last week.
Wanted to ask you about Lasser Brooks' play against ULM and just down the road, if he continues to emerge, would that compel you guys to maybe play Ryan a little bit more on the outside when he comes back like he was last year?
Yeah, I think that's certainly a really a valid question, and a thought process that we're going to continue to go through. Lottie's built up a lot of momentum. When I say Lottie, lots here, built up a lot of momentum here in the last 3 weeks to 4 weeks. He had a nice spring ball, and made some plays on Saturday, and so got some confidence in him. He made guys miss. He made big catches on third down. In the first game, he played with some aggression on some special teams plays that we were hoping for, and he came through. As far as how it affects everything, it adds him to the mix, which then moves people around. Doesn't mean you have to play everyone, in the same spot the whole game. I think Jern can play inside and outside. I think Ryan can play inside and outside. And so, we just got to always continue to be evaluating that throughout the season. And, different dynamics will change too that maybe are unknown right now, fortunate or unfortunate. So, Ryan's got that versatility. He's taken a number of snaps inside, but we know what he can do outside too. And so he made a lot of nice plays, as we all know, on the outside. So I thought Isaiah, Germ, I thought they did some nice things too. Rico did his thing both inside and outside. So, we got a lot of versatility with the guys. We just got to continue to hone in on how it all fits together.
Second row on the left.
You had said last week that JM could possibly play against Wisconsin. Just how is he progressing along, and also Ryan Williams and Jamarian Latham? Yeah,
we got a number of guys that are day-to-day, and he would certainly be one of them. We're optimistic that there could be a chance. I really don't think we'll know until we get in later in the week. You saw him in pregame. He was out there doing some things aggressively, trying to continue to push forward. You can see that with Jam. He's chomping at the bit. And we just got to make sure we're making a smart decision. But that will be left up to our training staff and our doctors, and also how Jam feels. And so he's making a lot of progress.
Coach, I know pregame can be a little bit of a blur, but there was a moment between you and Tim Keenan that was shown on the broadcast. Can you share what TK said to you pregame, if you can, as well as what he means to the team and the staff?
When was that?
It was pregame, and he came up to you, and y'all both seemed very locked in.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he was hyping you up, telling you that he's got your back or whatever it was, but it seemed to have a little bit of an impact.
Yeah. Well, TK, I can say this: he really missed not being at the game in week 1, and he's a high energy guy. And I know that I really challenged him with and told him we needed that for our team. And so it wouldn't surprise me that, we had that exchange, and him bringing that energy, not just to our players, but our coaching staff, including me. So, I really appreciate, he's a captain. He's poured into this program a lot. I do remember now, it was on the sideline there, him standing right there, right before kickoff. And so, that's just, that's TK. He loves this team, and he's been nothing but the high-end support, and giving everything you got, and that includes me, and feel very supported by him for sure, to answer your question.
Hey, Kalen, I'm curious about whether it's you, whether it's your assistant coaches, how you guys approach say, penalty prevention over the course in practices and encouraging your guys to do that? And are you satisfied with kind of the, how your players, penalty totals over the past few games, and how do you guys handle that?
Yeah, I mean, there's different. Each side of the ball has their own ways. The foolish ones are the ones you really address, and so the takes no talent ones, and there's consequences for every one of them. And as far as how it's gone into the games, we came back. I thought we had some aggressive penalties, some unfortunate situations, I thought, in the game, but it is what it is, and we can't live in the gray area, and that's what we've emphasized all year. The targeting, we got to lower our center of gravity. We got to do a better job and play through the ball carrier with a lower target. Can't launch ourselves, helmet first, and that's the rules of the game. We got to be better, and that's a fundamental thing. We continue to stress, but I thought we made, again, good steps in the foolish penalty area, the mental mistakes and things like that. I thought we were, played aggressive, played through people. I'm thinking of Germs in particular, that got called back. And, just got to always keep learning. And our guys, believe me, they don't want to have penalties. And I think that their discipline and what they do off the field does carry over, and I think they do a good job. And it's just going to be a matter of time where they get comfortable out there, and we can continue to show that it matters to us.
Hey, Coach, what have you seen from Wisconsin so far this year? What kind of challenges might they present? And how much do you look at that game last year where you guys fared pretty well?
Yeah, we'll certainly look at that. I think there's a little more carryover with their defense just because of the same coordinator. And so, you're going to get a physical team, typical Wisconsin, a lot of pride in who they are and what their identity is. And that showed up in the first two games. Very, very when it comes to run game, very, just kind of rock solid, keeping things under wraps. I think it's 60 to 70 yards total in rushing over 2 games. They do what they do, and they're going to do it with great technique in all ways. And, balanced offense, I think, with the run game really setting up the play action, the shots. You're going to try to get your free access throws, get the ball out to receivers when you have to load the box. And so, there's some great fundamental things that they do, and we got to match the physicality with great effort, do a good job of getting ball carriers down, getting them into situations. I think just the name of the game would always be to put teams in down at distances they don't want to be in, make them uncomfortable, and you can pin your ears back and get after the quarterback.
Coach, just how would you evaluate the offensive line that you saw on Saturday? And Coach Grub was just in here saying that Michael Carroll is kind of in a competition with the right tackle, but at the right tackle position. How do you see that Michael Carroll play this Saturday? Yeah,
I love the way he plays. He plays hard. He plays really hard, and he, along with we talk about lots here, and we play a lot of freshmen, play a lot of young guys in a lot of different areas, special teams and offense, defense. And I think he was one of those guys that, again, has taken those steps, did a nice job, got his first action, real action at the college level. And so, again, just like we talked about the quarterback, the competition just helps everyone. It helps Michael, and his motivation to continue to get better every single day, be his best. It helps Wilkin. At guard, we had guys rotating in as well between Jaden and Gino. Across the board, the guy sends a message that we're going to keep trying to find the guys who really give us the best chance to win.
All right, thanks, Coach.
You bet.